K-Ray, what is ugly at the moment?
Fucking Fnatic, bro, and just Fnatic's like macro. No, what I can't understand, and here's my point, okay?
Come on.
Right, so there's three pillars of problems on Fnatic. The first problem, right, okay, for some reason, right, okay, when Upset plays with Razork, Upset is like it tends to be fine, but Razork gets worse, right? For whatever reason. Now, maybe it's because Upset's the biggest voice. Maybe it's because like Razork doesn't talk because Upset's talking, and then like some people need to talk in the game to be able to be a voice in the game to actively participate as well. But whatever the reason, I don't care what the conjecture is, right? That combination of players together, it makes one of them worse. And one of the things on Fnatic is one of the big first things you need to have is Razork needs to be one of the best junglers. Because if you just look historically at Fnatic, when Razork is one of the best junglers, that is when they're like almost able to beat G2. They're able to almost do, they're almost man. You know what I mean? When fucking Razork's one of the best players. Second of all, is, I do not know how this team's macro can consistently not improve all the time. There are individual players who are trying to do like good things, like Mickey X on resets when he's coming out of base. But the actual like team, their lane swaps, their fucking side lane allocation, their movements off of midsection, how they go and approach like objectives, it's a fucking mess. And it's been like this. Genuinely, we're getting on for about like 3 years, like with this like group of like coming and going like players. Like, how is it that like Heretics I've just got better macro than you? How is it that like all the other top teams are not just like a little bit ahead of you in terms of like map decision making? They're like miles ahead of you in terms of decision making. And the third last like problem is, and I don't generally, as like a rule, Peter, like maybe I know this, I don't like talking about coaches because I don't know what the fuck coaches do, so I just don't talk about them, right? But here's my conjecture. What the fuck is going on with like Fnatic, where you have the personality problems and the what they called motivational problems, and then you have Grabs on the team, and one of his strengths is supposed to be man management, yet all the actual man management issues on the team seem to be worse, and the only direction Fnatic have is Upset goes, give me all the resources, and we're going to do RNG 2017, when I need Fnatic to be RNG 2018. That's what I need fucking Fnatic to be. And, like, you know what I mean? This is a problem. It's fucked already.
Who's Yahoo?
Yeah! What?
Who? Who is Yahoo?
It's awful, bro. And that's why it's ugly. Because, like, Fnatic, we're supposed to conjecture are a top team, never look elite, never look like they're going to make that leap. And it's just getting more and more depressing every single time.
They're 2-0, though.
I don't give a fuck, mate. That's like Kanye West playing basketball, bro, if you know the reference. Like, I don't give an absolute fuck, bro. Like, I genuinely don't care. This is a team that should be trying to win the LEC or should be shooed in for going to Worlds. They're going to be struggling to go to Worlds, bro. And when these players don't go to Worlds, it's going to be unacceptable. With that roster, like, it's not even with, like, Poby on it, you know what I mean? Like, you made the decision to sign him, so I've got to treat him like you've just signed fucking Scout or, like, fucking Faker's next prodigy. Like, you chose to play this guy, so he's under Fnatic considerations, so...
Oh, no, it makes sense. Like, I mean, it was rough. Like, you know, Fnatic are 2-0 this weekend. Poby has, like, the highest KDA in the league. Look, he wasn't bad this weekend. He was inoffensive this weekend. He deserves part credit for not completely running it down, but you were against Abadage and Kabilu. Like, I mean, you know, that's like the entry tier. You know, that is, the LEC have been as kind as they possibly can be with Fnatic's schedule, because you get to go from Kabilu to, you get to go Kabilu, Abadage, Nuke, who is like, we'll see where you really are, and then you get to play. Then you get to play Caps. You know, you don't just go in right at the start at the high level. So we can't really judge how good he is. We can judge that he is at least stable against bad teams, and does his job in team fights and is capable of not dying stupidly. Right. So okay, you get a partial credit, but these guys almost lost to Heretics and could easily have lost 2-0 to Heretics, and frankly, like. Frankly, this is a team that how should I say? Heretics are not a team which are going to contest you aggressively in the early game, and you will have some agency in the game, 100% guaranteed, unless you fuck it up, right? Like this should have been the perfect opportunity to show some nice, clean macro, and they didn't get it. And, you can maybe say, sure, they bounced back against SK, but frankly, I'm sure that there's 5 ERL teams that can beat SK. To be kind, I'm going to say there's 5 ERL teams. I think there's probably close to 10 ERL teams that could probably beat SK in a best of 3. So you don't really get credit. You don't really get credit for that either, right? So we'll see. I'm willing to withhold judgment for one thing, which is that this week they play against BDS, and BDS will be a litmus test, right? Because BDS, are actually, they're not a challenge to get you to Worlds. But if Fnatic can show me something against BDS, then I give them a pass. But this was a very unconvincing 2-0 week for sure. And I mean, you can't play the give upset all the resources strategy against KC or against Koi. You can maybe do it against G2. Maybe you can get away with it against G2. But if you try to do that, KC and Koi, their mid laners are more than happy to just sacrifice everything. Jojo is happy to go 20 CS down for Super if he needs to, right? If the series is about bot lane ego, Jojo will take the hit. Vladdy has done it before. He's not as comfortable doing it, but these guys are psychopaths that are psychopaths in a way that Poby is not going to be willing to be a psychopath, right? Just from seeing him play. So we'll see how it goes. I was a bit disappointed with Fnatic, but this is the cost for taking out one of your major voices, right? So we just have to see.
Right, 2 things. One, this is also why when you talk about, because I agree, and whenever I see SK or Na'Vi on the docket, I don't even take that as a real match. What do I take from that? I'd be more shocked if you lost, surely. I can't give you many points for winning. Again, what are you supposed to do? That's like ordering a hot dog and successfully getting the hot dog in your mouth, not all over your face. Well, yeah, okay, that's the most basic assumption imaginable, but I guess congrats or something, mates. So, by the way, it's also why on the other side, I've always said, so I'm not the one who invented it. I took the idea from Korea. They should always have made EMEA Masters an NLB type tournament that the bottom LEC teams are forced to play in. Because I'll tell you what, if you want to actually hold all the bad GM's feet accountable, put them against the top 8 EMEA Masters teams and you will expose the actual fucking bombs of GMing in Europe. Because those guys, I agree with you, Peter, some of these teams would give them fucking work. Some of the teams like the aforementioned, funny enough, the players that are in Ping Na'Vi came from the squads that would have beaten them, the fucking EC Japan and fucking Barcelona. It's not even just Los Ratones. It's like 3 or 4. Probably even Carmine Corp Blue would get some of these squads. These teams probably would win, mate, especially in just a neutral ground where it's not oh my God, the LEC and all the lights. And if you just put them in a neutral space or an exhibition, they probably would win. Now, on the Fnatic thing, this is why also I'm not particularly impressed at the idea that you take the giant humanoid contract, commit to using him again for the year, and then don't play out the last split and bring in a Korean no-name person to just go, hey, play the game. Because surely one of the few things that was always going for Humanoid was the idea that he has a contributing voice to the team. Now, I will say, within Fnatic, this is why so many of the convos I had 10 years ago have aged beautifully, mate. Because every fucking person, we all know some of the people that might be mutuals of all of ours that did this angle back in the day. Every person treated me like I was a cretin, and that when I said you need shot calling, I was saying one person talks and no one else speaks, and it's Counter-Strike. By the way, it was never that, and spoiler, even Counter-Strike doesn't work that way. You have secondary callers, you have people depending on their role, might in their role contribute information that the IGL then makes the decision from. But my problem is this, what I was always arguing against, because the original team that taught me this doesn't work, is my boy Froggen and CLG EU. Their whole perspective was you don't need one shot caller, because everyone, it should be democracy. Everyone should contribute. And by committee, something, question mark, we win the game. And what they had to learn very quickly is you just lose to the team where, guess what, they're also all given the information, but then someone who's really smart makes a great call. If you don't have the guy to make the call, you're just not going to be as good. You're always going to be behind the tempo, as it were. And then secondly, you're also going to be in scenarios where the democracy angle doesn't work. Guess what? There are a lot of famous democracies, shout out people like Belgium, where the whole premise of the democracy is everyone blocks everyone. That's the whole premise. You don't ever have harmony. It's like weird coalitions of people who don't agree on things, all blocking it. And the idea is the stalemate's almost the achieved feature, not the bug. Well, that's going to be terrible. And the reason I'm bringing all this up is because as far as I can tell, this era of Fnatic was always trying to do it by committee. You were using the logic of, well, Razork must have some idea what he wants to do in terms of his agency as a jungler because he's Razork. Humanoid, he's going to make some sort of a mid-round call based on if he's strong and he's got items. And then Upset knows what he needs to carry the game and carry the team fight. And then in amongst it, I will say, by the way, probably the one I think always gets overrated by fans is I think fans make the mistake of thinking Mickey X making on your screen genius macro plays is the same as being a shot caller. It isn't. I can tell you, in that sense, he's making the play, but he's not saying anything. There's not a big dialogue. He's not some core JJ figure. So the real problem, I think, with this squad, I agree. Even though on paper, you could argue it actually might make it better to have one less voice. They also just don't have a unifying voice. Like, I genuinely feel like beyond grabs, is there anyone in that team even agrees on how to play League of Legends? I don't feel like it. I feel like they all have a different perspective, especially Razork, Mickey X and Upset. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you put a different combo of each two people in a room, you'd get a different perspective on how you should play the game. Like, it doesn't feel like they're all on the same page at all. As far as I can tell, their only unified quality is they're all really good players. But, like, I'm sorry, again, this 10 years ago, that was enough. 10 years ago, having three really good players, that get you to the finals. Now, that is like you are just a playoff team. And if you go to Worlds, you will get torched, by the way. And that's the last thing I'll say. In a weird way, it's almost a blessing that this Fnatic squad hasn't gone to the international tournaments, because what it reminds me of, and this is what they've actually given up, sadly, with having to toss the lineup in the bin, is it reminds me of the really old TSM squads that had like the Doublelift Bjergsen squads. They had to just accelerate the game. If they accelerate the game and they had more skilled players, yeah, of course they could win. They were in a team fight with an advantage. But if they actually had to like macro, by the way, forget the idea of using wave management and side laning and there was none of that shit. It was just like, get really strong, go to the Baron, now we fight and kill them. And the problem with that is that's like Babby's first fucking macro, isn't it? Like, you can do that domestically if you're better than the other players. But the second you go internationally, not only are the players better than you, their macro's way better too, and they actually understand what they're doing. So, no, I know what you mean. It's why, unfortunately, even though a lot of people got hyped because Porby literally just wasn't shit. He just had like some good games and some alright games. Just the fact he wasn't shit got people hyped. I'm far from being hyped about Fnatic yet. You've got to win me over on the idea that if somehow you took that third spot for Worlds, you'll actually do something. You won't just go and get your shit pushed in. Because sadly, right now, I know what you mean. Like, for me, Fnatic still hasn't even started, mate. It's just like, I'm still waiting for this squad to go somewhere. I like the take.
How tragic is it? 3 months ago, we were like talking about how hype it would be to see Fnatic.
It would have been, yeah.
We were stomping everybody, like in
you think how they were playing in the regular season, mate? That team, who the fuck wouldn't love to see them play FlyQuest or mix it up with BLG or something? That'd be awesome, yeah.
But Peter, you've got to think how jarring this is for me, because my native game's Dota and we're about to go into TI season, right? The idea that like the fourth team in any given region literally can't do like macro when you remove like one player and everything just goes to shit, that's such a foreign concept in like Dota. Like, if you were to tell people that, everyone would look at you like, what? Like, so what are the other four players like doing? Did they not know how to play their role? Like, what happened to their champion pool? It's the fact that it's so bad. It's like, where did it go? Where did that team that I seen last season go?
Oh, you know what? I've just realised, guys. Oh, my God. It was there the whole time and we're all just fools. They're literally doing the Porby faker play with Humanoid. They're going to bring him back in 3 weeks and then go, see, it was him all along with the genius shot calling. And then we'll all be like, oh, welcome back, Humanoid, king of the LEC. And then we all go to Worlds. Yeah, there you go. Why are we all saying, it's even Porby himself. Listen, if you're going to get someone to play that role, bro, bring in the guy himself. It's him.
He's already got the Oscar. He's already got the Oscar.
Listen, he's got the script. He knows what his job is, mate. He knows exactly what his job is. I can't believe no one's actually made that joke so far. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, true. And we all really believe Humanoid's retired, but joke's on us. Just wait 3 weeks until the playoffs, and then we'll see. He'll be back.
Oh, God.
What a world.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.